What's going on, everyone? Let me clean my glasses here so I can see and read your comments. 8 o'clock here, Central Time in Wisconsin. I'm going to turn my phone off. Because every time I do this, everybody that I know is they start calling and texting and try to get my attention with my phone. All right. I'm just going to answer some questions tonight. This is not going to be a long live, but I just wanted to pop in here since it's the beginning of our season. We got our first couple pours done under our belts, and things have been a little sketchy with the weather. This past week was a little rough. We had rain, we had wind, we had snow. It was cold, but we got a couple jobs done. So the first pour video will be out tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. And that's the pouring of the big driveway that we set up. You guys probably saw that video already. Thank you very much, Hunter. So I'm just going to take some of your questions here. Dennis, happy birthday. That's awesome. Concrete business is solid these days. No pun intended. All right, we'll get a few people on here. Is the Crown Vic up and running? Daniel, no, it's not. So the Crown Vic has a couple issues. It has a dead battery, but it has a draw, so that's an issue. And then the power steering is out on it. So we got to get that fixed. I'm going to have Nathan fix that up for us right after he's done with my other car, the Mustang. Thank you, Howard. And DGO Concrete, very much. Robert Johnson, thank you. How do you find good attitude workers like the new guy? Do you go through a lot of people? No, not really. Honestly, I think the attitude of workers has a lot to do, not everything to do, but it has a lot to do with the work environment. So I try to create a fun and enjoyable work environment. And generally, people that have a negative attitude will all of a sudden kind of come out of that and become positive. That's not always the case. Some people are negative no matter what, and that's just the way that they live their life. But most people, when they're in a good work environment, will have a better attitude and start to have fun with you and enjoy themselves. How did the new concrete buggy work out? We have not used it yet, Carlos. It's still brand new in the trailer. The first two jobs, both, we were able to get the concrete truck right up the driveways and pour them out with the truck. Any update on the land? Well, no, there's no update. Again, I made an offer. He accepted the offer. Closing is June 28th. So I'm just trying to, save all my pennies and come up with the money. So I just did my finances again, and I'm probably going to be a little bit short, but it's not a lot short. I've had several people reach out. They wanted to either give me money or borrow me money, and I'm not going to take anybody's money, although I really appreciate the offers. I just feel like if I'm going to do this, I need to do it. I don't want somebody else to do it for me. If I do that, I won't feel the same. I won't feel the same, I guess, sense of accomplishment if I have, somebody borrow me the money or give me the money. So that's where we're at. It's going to be real close. I'm going to make it happen. I'll sell what I need to sell and make it happen. All right, lots and lots of comments. I'm trying to stop it here and there. Door County, thank you, Classic Steve, for watching. Thank you, Eric Gordner, sent $10. I really appreciate that. Will there be a video tomorrow? Yes, sir, Chris. 7 o'clock is the pouring of that big driveway. It turned out pretty good. It wasn't an A plus. I mentioned in the video. Nothing really went wrong. It's just we were a little rusty, a little shorthanded, but it turned out good overall. You'll see tomorrow. It was a 42-yard driveway, so it was quite a bit of concrete for us on the very first day when we're all very rusty and really not in the flow of things just quite yet. Bulgaria, thank you very much. Dano, thank you very much. Does it hurt your carrying only? Amazing. Oh, very funny. Come on. I thought that was a real question. What's going on in Wichita, Kansas? Curtis, appreciate it. Somebody said, "Will you sell the boat?" Thank you, Brian and Cody. I don't know if I'm going to sell the boat. We'll see. If I sell the boat, it'll be my fishing boat. It won't be the other boat. I mean, I don't want to sell everything I have, but I will sell whatever it takes. I would sell the Mustang first. Amada. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But yeah, the Mustang would go first, and I'm kind of angling towards that, to be honest. Tyler, thank you very much. If you guys send money, send a question along. I mean, I'm not asking for your money, but obviously those catch my attention. If you have a question, I'll definitely answer along with that. And again, I don't, ask for anything. I do appreciate it though. 2,500 cash for the Mustang, not quite. So I mentioned in the video, but I believe I paid 18 for it, and I would take 16 for it. Thank you, Tom Zamoying. I appreciate that. He says, get some coffee for your guys. Is your son driving the dump truck? Yes, he is. I am keeping the Silverado. That would be, I would take a huge loss if I sold that new truck. And at this point, I'm not willing to do that. I had the whole thing wrapped. Obviously, you lose money driving it off the lot, the taxes and all that. I would lose a lot of money. Will you be restocking hats on merchandise site? Yes, I will. I have all the merchandise, all the new merchandise. I have the new website built. However, I don't have the shipping figured out, and I don't have a place for the new merchandise. So I'm building a shed at my house so that'll take care of storage. And when my daughters get off of work, or I'm sorry, school this summer, they're going to do the shipping for me. So we're almost there. It'll be in May. It's taking longer than I thought and longer than I promised. So I apologize for that. But it is actually a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. Kevin, thank you very much. What do you think your biggest hurdle to get over this year? Um, Biggest hurdle, obviously, the big purchase is going to be difficult, and then um, my there's lots of hurdles. There's personal hurdles, there's business hurdles, there's financial hurdles. The biggest financial hurdle I'm going to have, because I think that's what you're asking, is going to be the taxes this year, because the land that I buy, it's not tax deductible. I can't write it off. It's not a depreciable asset. So all the money that I put towards the land, I can't count and write it off against my profit. So even though I'm spending all that money, I'm still going to owe a lot of taxes. That's going to be my biggest financial hurdle. So this year is going to be a little rough, but we're going to get through it. We'll be fine. Troy, thank you very much. X-Rater, why not use line pumps? It's because we have very large 3/4 inch jagged low chert stone that we use, and it just does not pump through line pumps. A lot of guys have tried it. They try to go into business. They all fail because they clog up, they plug up, and nobody wants to order a pump just to have it be a frustration, a headache, and for it not to work. So line pumps, you just don't see them much around here. You see power buggies because you can put anything in a power buggy. Troy, thank you very much. Robert, thank you. Thank you. Robert Baldwin, another Robert. Do you see yourself mending things with Daryl? They're already mending. Me and Daryl talk on the phone. We've texted back and forth. We've talked on the phone and all that. There's nothing between us. I've mentioned that before. It's just strictly business, and he understands that. And he's called and asked for advice and everything, and I'm happy to give it to him. I mean, I still consider him a friend. It's just that we're not going to be working together. Will you eventually expand the business? No, Jake, I will not expand Victory Outdoor Services as a concrete business. Obviously, eventually down the road, when I have buildings, that building will produce income as rental income. So that'll be another business besides my business. So I'll expand kind of sideways, with other businesses and so forth. But no, I just like the size we're at. I like personally being on every job. I like giving the customers good service, doing quality work, seeing with my own eyes that it's being done right. The wires being pulled, everything's just how I like it. That's what I enjoy. When I go home at night, I know I did a good job. I did everything how I'm supposed to do. I'm confident enough in the quality of my work that I put all of my jobs on video. So all the steps people can see, and that's just how I like to run it. So we're going to stay the same size. Thank you very much, M2 Woodcrafts. Appreciate that. Christopher Jackson. The answer to your question is no, not this year. We'll see. You never know about years down the road what's going to happen, who's going to work for you, but no, definitely not this year. All right. How often do you run into, Nick asks, how often do you run into problems with sprinklers? Do you take care of it on the job site or pay for the bill? So I'm always on the lookout when I do an estimate if there are sprinklers. If there are sprinklers, there are obviously sprinkler lines. So I explain it up front to the customer that there is a potential that some of these heads could get damaged, the lines could get damaged, and they have their sprinkler guy on standby while I do the job. I coordinate that because I don't really want to be responsible for their sprinkler system. Sometimes you'll break something over here. They had a problem over here before you came. And you have your thing, you fix your part, but it's still broken over here, and then you get blamed for something you didn't even do. So I like to have the sprinkler guy on standby. Haven't really broken any sprinklers in years, honestly. We dig them out. We're very careful with shovels and stuff, and don't really have much problem. But that's how I deal with that. Dade says rentals will definitely bring income and also do a great part for your community, but it's a lot of micromanagement. That's true. However, it is commercial rentals, so they're long-term rentals. You are dealing with business owners, generally speaking. So, you're going to be dealing with a little bit more, generally speaking, responsible people. And one of the good points about commercial rentals is that you don't have feelings involved. So you don't have a single mom living in one of your rental houses that has children and she hasn't paid rent for 3 months and you're going to evict her because that is a really difficult thing to do. So it's a lot easier on the commercial side. If you don't pay your bill, you're out. But it's a very, good community, Menominee Falls. You're going to find some really good renters over there. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. Thank you, Dark Ops, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Birdie Morel. Okay, there we go. Thank you very much, Amada. Again, what is your daily motivational quote that keeps you going when you feel like everything is working against you? There's always challenges. I mean, I have challenges in my life at the moment. I mean, literally 30 minutes ago, went back and forth on some emails. I'm dealing with a difficult situation. Hi, come on over. So I'm dealing with a difficult situation right now. There's always difficult things going on in your life, and you just have to, deal with it. You deal with it emotionally, and I draw from the past because I've gone through a lot of things. I'm a little bit older. I'm almost 46 years old, and I understand that everything that I'm going through now, I've pretty much gone through in the past for the most part, and it was never the end of the world. So when there's a problem, I try to deal with the problem in a professional way. I don't run from my problems. If somebody calls me or emails me, I email them back, I call them back. If there's a problem on a job, which I had a customer, actually, you guys remember the pizza man. The pizza man got a crack in his sidewalk. So it went up the joint. It was just, it's maybe a 5 foot section of walk. It went through the joint and then it came out of the joint and it's on the surface. So he's concerned about it, of course. It's a crack. But the reality is concrete cracks. Sometimes even when you do everything right, the controlled joints are spaced properly. It happens. So I text them back right away. I said, I understand your concern. I'm going to come out and take a look at it. I feel bad for him. However, I poured a new patio very fancy for myself years ago. And guess whose patio cracked? It was mine. It wasn't anything we did wrong. It's the nature of concrete. Sometimes it does what you don't want it to do. Paul, thank you very much. Love your Crown Vic. What year is it? It is wow, what year? That's 2012. Thank you. Did you ever clean the mess the guy mentioned at the gas station? He said one of your friends left a mess when he picked up the barrels. So I did go over there and I didn't see any mess. I looked around and I couldn't actually tell what he was talking about. He may have cleaned it up himself already, or maybe I'm just not seeing. I see him in the gas station all the time. We're friends. So if there's a problem, we'll be talking again about it. Thoughts on deck over trailers versus equipment trailers? So, um, I have both. The deck over trailers are going to be higher, so you're going to have steeper ramps. That's really the one of the big deals and the reasons why people choose one or the other. But you guys saw the video where Eric was really nervous to drive the skid steer up on the trailer. That's a deck over, so obviously the deck is built over the height of the top of the wheel. So that being said, the ramps are obviously steeper, and that trailer, as a matter of fact, you cannot drive any wheeled skid loader up on that trailer without tipping. A tired machine will flip over. We used to add blocks behind the ramps to kind of set them up to lessen the slope. So that's the one thing you want to be, careful for. Deck over trailers, obviously, they make them to where they're very heavy duty. Guys carry large equipment on them as well. How did you start your own business? So I started my own business many years ago. I've mentioned this before, but I started small, just working a regular job, doing concrete work, getting side jobs, doing nice work on the side jobs, and then other people hear about it. And then more and more people want you to do stuff for them. And eventually I had so much side work, I didn't have time for my regular job. And that's when I knew it was time to just kind of venture off on my own. Thank you, Robert. And by the way, I did not bring my daughter down here for views. She just happened to walk into my office and she seems to be enjoying herself. Are you nervous? Tell me the truth. Are you nervous or not really? Not really? Because over 3,000 people are watching you right now. You know that? Yeah, you like that? Okay, she likes it. All right. Do you plan on having more kids? Unfortunately, John, we are past our prime. I will put it that way. So no, that's not going to be possible. Scott, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Um, oh, construction on the new land. So, um, Maverick, I am working with a builder, and he's just putting together some basic drawings. And you got to start somewhere, and it's a long process. So I've kind of already started the process with one builder making drawings. He's going to check out all the code requirements of Menominee Falls. He knows what I expect him to do and what I'm going to do on the land. So we've kind of already started it. Um, the plan would be sometime next year to make the building, and I want one building to be completed by the end of next year and moved in. Again, that's because I need it done. I don't want to take forever. And for tax purposes, next year I have to write something off large because I am getting crushed with taxes. Yep, daughter is growing like a weed. They really grow fast. Do you think you're big or little? You have to talk louder. Are you big or little? Little. Thank you, Troy. Do you have a TikTok? I used to have TikTok. So I went on a thank you despise Aeon. Anyways, I got rid of my TikTok account and I basically did it at the same time I went on a diet. So I quit sugar and I quit TikTok pretty much at the same time. And what I've realized is that there are some definite parallels between the two. Sugar gives you that quick high, but it's not good for you. It's pretty much the same with TikTok. It kind of gives you some quick entertainment, but it's really not good for you. It's not good for your mind. It's not good for kids' attention spans or anything like that. And I felt it would just be best. I had nearly 100,000 followers on TikTok. So that's quite a few. Most people would, dream about having that many followers, but to me, it's just not worth it. So I got rid of the account and I don't go on TikTok anymore, and I don't plan on ever going back to TikTok. It really was, um, was something fun I did for a while, and I thought maybe TikTok had potential, but it honestly just the comment section, the things that people say, it's just a cesspool over there, in my opinion. And I just felt like it would be best for me to get out of it. And if anybody wants any advice about like children playing, not this young, but your children playing on TikTok, absolutely not. If Just don't do it. Don't let your kids play on TikTok. It is terrible for their mind. And there's also like some pretty bad content on there as well. All right, where are we at? Did TikTok pay? Honcho, they paid me. I had millions and millions and millions and millions of views on TikTok, and they paid me about $1,200 over the course of a year and a half. I still had the $1,200 in the account when I canceled the account. I just didn't even try to get the money. It wasn't worth it to me to go back and forth and just, to me, I just canceled it. I said, forget it, keep the money. I really don't care. So that I got rid of it. So I didn't make any money at all, $0, 0 cents on TikTok. But technically, they owed me like $1,200 when all was said and done. So it was barely worth it financially. It was a year and a half and millions of views. But YouTube is paying for shorts now. Um, so I think a lot of the guys on TikTok, unless TikTok changes and starts paying for their creators to make content, a lot of those people are going to come over to YouTube because YouTube got smart and say, hey guys, come over here and we'll pay you for what you're doing, which is good. So that's the story on TikTok. Would you ever consider running for mayor of your town? Absolutely not. Definitely not. I just, politics have gotten so nasty. And even like the local school board races, they get nasty around here now. I mean, the attacks, the personal attacks. I mean, if politicians could be more professional and keep it on a professional level, that would be different. But things have gotten really bad. I don't talk about politics a lot. You guys already know where I stand. I'm a conservative. I don't, you know, hide it or anything, but I don't like shove it in everybody's face and talk about all my guns and my ARs. I don't bring them on the channel and this and that. That's not really what this channel is about. It's about fun. It's about pouring concrete. It's entertainment. So yeah, you guys know where I stand. But again, that's not the purpose of my channel. All right, trying to read some comments here. How do you start off learning how to do concrete work? Says Stickman. It's easy. You get a job as a laborer for a concrete company. There's guys hiring all over the place. Get a job quick while the economy is still good or halfway decent. It's hard to even say. Hi. Oh, Joanna, you have to go to bed. Wave goodbye.
Grace.
Grace, wave goodbye. Okay, bye, Joanna.
Bye.
Say bye. Well, you don't have to say it like you're going to cry. Say bye, everybody. All right. Okay, so I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, the economy. I should put it this way. While we as contractors are still busy and have enough work, get a job now. Tough guy says he has a Bible study at work and always says prayer for you and your family. Thank you very much. I certainly appreciate it. I need it. I know it always appears like everything's cool and everything's going great. I don't have any problems. I don't have any, sometimes people get the idea that it is easy money for me. And I have 7 kids. I have a business. I have other things. I have a lot of stuff going on. I'm really, really busy. You guys know that already. And it's not really easy. Okay. It's difficult. And I have problems just like everybody else. Relationships and all that stuff you try to maintain. So there's a lot going on. But I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. I need it. Have you ever thought about doing epoxy? So that's an interesting question, TTT Jeff. Epoxy coating. So there's a company that reached out to me. You guys will probably be familiar with it because it's a national chain, CertaPro. So CertaPro, I always thought of it just doing painting. However, they got into epoxy coatings and they invited me out to work with them for a day. So next Saturday, if the weather's good, if it doesn't rain, we have it scheduled that I'm going to go and video with them, and they're going to teach me how to do epoxy coating on a garage floor. I've never done epoxy coatings. I'm actually excited to learn. So that should be pretty cool. I don't think I'm going to get into epoxy coatings, but I'd like to learn. Do you think there will be a cement shortage this year? Asked Nick Clark. So this is what I've been hearing. I'm not, the authority in this. I just pass along information that I've heard. I've heard that it could be very similar to last year as far as the shortage goes, starting in the middle of the summer. There's been whisperings of that. There's going to be another concrete increase, at least around here, with multiple companies, not just my supply company. So yes, there could be, but I can't give you a definitive answer, but it's looking like it's very possible later on this summer. Right now, everything's fine, but it's a long season. It's only April right now. In a perfect world, when do you see yourself retiring? And do you foresee your children taking over the company or selling off and never looking back? The only possibility of anybody taking over the company is Daniel. My son Ryan has no, he's heading in a different direction. He's heading in the direction of ministry. He's not going to just change course, and I don't want him to. I wouldn't want him to change his mind. I want him to stay the course. My son Daniel, obviously, he's just a young boy. He's 6 years old, and by the time he gets old enough to do that, I would be somewhere around retirement age. I will retire someday, of course, but when I say retire, I'm not just going to like go golfing and fishing every day. When I retire, I'll still be in the industry. I'll be selling concrete, or maybe doing social media stuff with other companies, or there's just all kind of possibilities. I won't ever quit working. I'll slow down, of course, and if things work out in the future with the building, that will provide income for my family when I'm gone as well. So I could retire maybe a few years earlier than I would have otherwise. That would be an option, but I really don't know. It's hard to say. But I'll be around for a while. Dude. I'm not planning on going anywhere for a long time. I'm only 46 years old, so I got plenty of time in this business, as long as my body holds up. Thank you, Sirlaws a lot. I don't know. I just appreciate it. Just gave me a compliment there. I appreciate that very much. We are heaven bound soon. Blessings, Ryan. Thank you. Jesus loves you. Thank you very much. Spurfy says he's looking forward to watching a new video with my 2-year-old son in the morning. Tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. It's a pretty good video, first pour. Is Tino full time? Yes, Rob. Tino is a full time employee. That's why he's showing up to the yard in the morning now instead of, well, I guess you guys wouldn't even barely know that yet, but he's coming to the yard. He's just a regular full time employee, just like everybody else. Last year was just kind of a temporary thing, but he's hired full time. Do you did service at your church? I'm sorry, I don't understand your question. If you want to send that out again. Updates on the new property. Ryan, I already explained it. There's really no updates at this time. It's just a matter of me having enough money on June 28th to close, and it's going to happen. If I'm short, I'm going to be selling some of my stuff, but I will definitely make it happen. Scott says he wants to send a gift to me. I really don't have any way for anybody to send a gift outside of like these comments. I don't have any of the cash apps or anything, or Zillow, whatever they call it. Zella. I can't even remember because I don't have it. Bruce, would like to talk to you over the phone with you when I can. When can I call you? Um, Bruce, if you would email me, that would be much better for me. I've been getting my phone's just been blowing up with out of state calls left and right, and it's really kind of interfering with my regular customers calling. So if you could email me, I would appreciate that. You need a PO box. I do. I had one for a little while and I got rid of it. Any more videos with the mechanic? Any? So probably not, because we're in concrete season. I mean, it's possible depending on if something breaks and we have a rain day. I mean, it's not an impossibility, but we're doing concrete now, so that's going to be our main thing, our main topic of videos. I'll do a few family videos like I usually do during the season as well. So thank you very much, Dr. Cranberry. If you need high pressure fluid lines welded, give me a call. All righty. Where's Francisco? Matt. So Francisco injured his leg at his winter job at another company, and he's healing right now. He goes to the doctor 3 weeks from yesterday, hopefully to give him a release. He's in therapy right now for it. He tore a muscle in his leg at work, and hopefully, if everything works out good, we'll see him in about 3 weeks. I hope your body holds up. Mine didn't. Yeah, my my wrist actually is giving me problems right now. But other than that, It's fine. Do you edit your own videos? Yes, I do. So when Autumn gets done with school, Autumn is my daughter. She's in college, so I edit all my own videos until summer. Well, my son Ryan edits one here and there, very sporadically, but I do almost all the editing. And then my daughter does a lot of the editing when she's off of school and summer break, which will be about May 15th, which is good. How's Big Santa Ray doing? He's doing good. He's hanging in there. He's got a good attitude. He's ambitious, and that's all. Did that lady pay you more money? No, she didn't pay me, but you know, I'm not going to pursue that. It's not that big of a deal. Stem cells really help with your joint and wrist injuries. I heard that was very expensive to have stem cell therapy. I've never looked into it, but that's what I heard. I think it's just it's tweaked. I mean, it's pretty bad, but I can still work. I just can't really swing a hammer or use a mag right now, but it'll heal up. Fred Tusa, your answer is yes. I won't read your question. Weight loss so far, Mackenzie, it's going good. I don't know if you guys can see it in my face yet, but I have lost some weight. So I've been off sugar for about 2.5 weeks, a little more than 2.5 weeks. And I've been eating like, I haven't been cheating at all. I've been very strict and I got up to about 200, I wish, 316 pounds. And now I'm about 296 pounds. That's what I was this morning. So yeah, it's going really good. Obviously, that first bit of weight is very easy to take off, and then it becomes a grind. I'm to that grind point now where it's just going to be, 1 pound here, 1 pound there. But I'm going to stay with it because I feel better. That tiredness that I would get during the day, that I'm sure most or all of you are familiar with, that has completely gone away. I'm not tired during the day at all. I also, boy, this is a little embarrassing, but I would get really tired in the church service when you're sitting very still because I don't sit very still often. So you're very still, quiet, not talking. It's a real struggle for me. It's been a real struggle, especially because I have a physical job. My body gets tired, but um, I haven't had any struggles since I quit the sugar. The last couple weeks have been fine. I haven't been sleepy at all. How did you find Eric? Eric found me, Jake. Eric saw a video, or he was watching the videos, and at one point he realized I was right here in his town in Milwaukee. And it was right at the time in 2021 where me and Al had parted ways. And it was right when that happened. Eric didn't know about it. I just think it was God. But Eric called me like that night and he's like, I'm a finisher. I'm looking for a job. And seemed like a nice guy. And I was like, all right, we'll come in. We'll give you a shot. And that's how it happened. It was pretty cool. If your crew finishes work early, do you pay them for the day? Yes, sir. So people get really concerned about my employees. Like, well, what if they get done at noon? Because sometimes you notice we do get done early because it's a little bit different, with the social media. I have to try to find some extra time to do editing and other stuff I do for social media. So if we get done like at 1 o'clock, I can't go start another job at 3 o'clock and work till dark. I need some time in the afternoon and night. So if my guys get done early, I still pay them for the entire day. So, I can't not pay them. It just wouldn't be fair to them because I have other stuff to do. I make money on YouTube and Facebook. I've talked about that before. So I don't have a problem if I'm taking that time to work on YouTube and Facebook and sharing it in a way, if you want to call that, and paying them for hours that they never worked. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, you can't just like give guys, 30 some hours or whatever. If you're a company, guys will just quit. They'll go somewhere else. You won't retain your guys. Did you tell Eric not to film anymore when he's working with you? So I'll address this. So Eric started his YouTube channel, and then when the winter came, he asked me if he could like hang out with me and video to try to get his YouTube channel off the ground. And I was like, there's a little risk there because if we do something kind of sketchy in the shop, and I know it's sketchy and he doesn't, there's safety stuff. We're not always perfect, and I know what to edit out and what's fine. And Eric doesn't necessarily, and obviously I don't check his videos, so it was a little bit of a risk to me. But I said, yeah, I'll help you out. You can, hang out and start your channel, give it a really big boost. And Eric has like 50 some thousand subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. So we got him, started. He's got, he just had a massive advantage from just starting at ground level on YouTube. To get to that level takes a long time. So I agreed through the winter, he could video, but on the summer jobs, we're not going to have like video side by side and have two Victory Outdoor Services channel. One is his and one is mine. That's just kind of weird. So I told him I would do it for the winter, but in the summer, he's going to be doing his own side jobs. So he's going to be videoing his own work and I'll be videoing mine. So that just makes sense, honestly. How much garbage do y'all make? Tell us the truth. I don't know. I I don't know. If I actually found that out, the beginning of my videos would be really boring. What will you do for 500,000 subs? Oh, that's a lot of subscribers. So I only make like about 300 to 500 subscribers a day. So it would take a very long time. So here's a little secret to YouTube. If you are just trying to get subscribers and you don't care about views, on your long form video, shorts are the way to go. I remember when I put my Donald Trump short out. It was a kind of a controversial little short video I did, kind of fun and funny. I made a ton of subscribers, but those subscribers, they don't watch your regular videos. They're just like people that watch shorts. So it pads your subscribers, but it doesn't really have any benefit to your YouTube channel. That's why I don't make a lot of shorts. I'll make more when I have my kid, just to be around more. But it's not, I'd rather have, I have 300 and some thousand subscribers and I get like 200 plus thousand views. So the majority of my subscribers are watching the videos. And I think that's beneficial. I think the algorithm, I don't know that this is true, but I feel like the algorithm might calculate that how many of your subscribers are watching your long form. And if you have a high percentage, that they'll push your videos out more. So I've always been cognizant of that. I think that it's important to keep your subscribers in the neighborhood of your views. You've all seen channels with 1 million or 2 million subscribers and they get like 20,000 views. I don't think that's a positive thing. What is the GVWR of your? It's a 16,000 pound trailer. Are you worried about the tilt in the rain? I am worried about the slipperiness of the deck in the rain. I've never loaded on it, so I guess we'll just find out. We'll have to deal with it. Have you talked to Marcel? I have not talked to Marcel in a little while. In the wintertime, I talked to him once or twice, texted back and forth. I think he's doing okay. I haven't heard anything bad. Why is concrete better than asphalt when it comes to driveway in your mind? So the benefit that comes from Marco in Finland, the benefit of concrete is that it's going to be a longer lasting product. It's definitely more elegant than asphalt. Obviously it's a hard product. Asphalt is soft, so if you have vehicles that generally park in the same spot, if you have motorcycle kickstands, they'll leave impressions in the asphalt. You can actually damage the asphalt in the heat. The benefit that asphalt has over concrete in the north or anywhere that it snows is it's black. It retains more heat and it melts snow off of it at a faster rate. So asphalt has that advantage. Concrete has all the other advantages that you could possibly think of. So I am a little biased, obviously, but everybody knows concrete is a superior product to asphalt. Do you drink Bud Light? Vape Cat, I do not drink any alcohol at all. But if I did, it would not be that. If you understand that, you understand it. I'm not even talking about that. I don't want to get upset. Why 5 inches instead of 4 inches? So 4 inches I pour on sidewalks and patios. 5 inches I like an extra inch of concrete thickness to support the weight of vehicles. Obviously, the thicker concrete is, the stronger it is. So that's why I go a little bit thicker on the driveways. And anybody can core any of my driveways. When I say you're going to get 5 inches, you get 5 inches. If I say you're going to get 4, you get 4. That's a game that a few contractors play. Highland Services says he lost a giant fish today and worked all day mowing grass, and then some 16-year-old crashed into my really nice truck. Ooh, man, that is not good, Highland. That is a rough day. So the good news is that I can pretty much guarantee that tomorrow is going to be a better day. Your insurance will cover, or their insurance will cover your truck. Tomorrow, it's going to get better. Just hang in there. Chino, what happened to Chino? I think you're talking about Tino. He's working for me. Um, you'll see him on the video tomorrow. He pours concrete with us. Any suggestions to grow my car detailing business? Get all over Facebook. Let people know that you're there. Big Ray's doing good, Cody. He's a very positive person. He's fun to be around. Tom L says again, I answered this earlier. Did you talk to Daryl? Talk about Daryl? I'm not going to talk about Daryl. I talked about our situation a little bit ago. It's water under the bridge, honestly. Have you talked to Daryl? I did answer that earlier. Yes, I do talk to Daryl. I still consider him a friend. There's nothing between us. Best Mom Wednesdays be a thing this season? I don't know if they'll be Wednesdays, Mondays, or what days they're going to be, but my mom will be bringing the lunch again. Of course, we talked about it. I think she's starting in about 2 weeks with the first one, so she has to make me like something special, salad and meat or something, because I'm on I guess keto or low carb diet, I guess you would say. Yep, she'll be back. Thank you very much, Dow. I did. So I did lose some weight, a good amount of weight already. I can feel it. It's to the point now where I can feel it, and I can sense it just in my clothes, you know, how they're fitting, just barely, but I'm starting to notice it. A couple more months and boom. Pace. Why aren't you using the new skid or the Chevy? So the new skid steer is a backup to the 320. I didn't buy it to replace it immediately. I bought it to over time replace it. So as the T320 goes in for repairs or service, the new machine will be out. When it eventually breaks down or permanently breaks down, the new machine is there and it's ready to go. Same thing with the Chevy. It's going to replace the Ford F350 that might have been premature last year, because the F350 with the 7.3, I don't know if it's ever going to die, but I guess we'll find out. Infinity. I've been working as a grip on a few commercial shoots while working on a couple others, camera editing, such. I'm thinking about starting my own business. Do you have any advice to gain clients? Well, first of all, you need to get more experience. If you've only been at a few, I mean, I would say with any, can't say any profession because I'm not familiar with all of them, but at least in my profession, if you're going to go into business, you need to have several years of experience in concrete work. Um, I would say, you know, if you're a super fast learner, you could maybe do it in like 4 years. If you're an average Joe, maybe like 6, 7 years, 5, 6, 7 years to try, you know. But you can't do 1 year of concrete and think you're going to be a contractor. There's so many variables, and just there's a lot of things that can go wrong that you could really mess up on a job, get yourself sued, and lose your little business hardly before it started. Question and answer with Bugs. Yeah, Bugs is. I don't know if he would do that. He might. He might. I could ask him if he would sit here with me and do a question and answer. I don't know. Like, you know, Bugs has a past. So I mean, we all have past, but Bugs really has a past. And I don't know, like, if you would want to like totally open up about it and stuff. That's his business. If he would want to, that would be fine. Why don't you hire any black people? I will hire anybody. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care where you're from. If you're a good person, we're going to be really good friends really fast. I've said that before and I mean it. I really don't care. It makes no difference to me. The problem is that there's no African American people that have come to me and said, "Hey, I want to work here. I'm a good finisher." There just hasn't been any. Be I would hire them as fast as I would hire anybody else. I don't like all the race baiting, all that garbage that goes around. You get accused of being a racist just because. I don't know why. Everybody is, I guess. Easy land money. Thank you, T Bam baby. I appreciate that. Good comment. Thank you. Thank you. Jesus is the most victory style in the universe. Absolutely. It's one of the reasons why I named my business Victory. So doesn't mean we're perfect. I know people have an impression that Christians think they're above other people, and hopefully, you guys knowing that I'm a Christian, you understand that we are definitely not perfect. We are just like everybody else. We believe a little bit different. So I respect everybody, no matter what you believe, where you came from, your background, the color of your skin. I don't care who you are. I will respect you, and we can be friends. Are the tilt and green trailers backups too? So the green trailer pace, I didn't really buy that. I traded it for the plow for Mike's. Mike gave me his trailer. I gave me this. I gave him the Snow Wolf plow. So we traded. I didn't really pay anything for it. I guess you could say not now, anyways. Uh, so the tilt trailer will come in handy. Just watch the channel. There's a lot of times where I need to go pick up something in the past where I just haven't had a trailer available. So it will come in handy when we need to pick up odds and ends and stuff like that. Thank you, Kyle. Very, very kind of you. You get $50 from Colorado. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Start of the season is going okay so far. We poured two driveways last week. The first one you'll see tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. The video it's saving on my computer right now, and then I will upload it to YouTube tonight, and I will schedule it for 7 a.m. That's Central Time, by the way, tomorrow morning. What's going on, Ethan? Thank you very much. Paul, the 7.3 has like 120,000 miles, something like that. Are you repairing your sidewalk this year? Says sus. Probably not. I like it. MDF 9876. I'm not going to read your comment, but I'm with you. Nilfinity asking me another question about the business. So try to get some side gigs going. Um, yeah, try to get some side work and see what you can get together. Start advertising, and it doesn't cost hardly anything to get an LLC and actually get a federal employment ID number. So you get that; it's very inexpensive, and then technically you are in business. That's all it takes to be in business, and then you can start looking for work. Start separating, your business expense and finances from your personal stuff. Try to keep those things separate, and then you're running a business. Get some jobs, people pay you, and off you go. You're off to the races. You should take the guys out for fishing and for a fishing day this year. I really want to. I've been thinking about that. I hope to do that. Tom Horseman, old friend, used to pour concrete with Tom. Concrete prices went up another 12. I won't say my exact price, but they went up $12 this spring, and he had to expect another mid-season price raise. So they're going up a lot. Would you ever do a celebrity boxing match? That's a tough one. It depends who it would be. If it was a friendly celebrity boxing match, but I would never do anything because somebody's angry at me or they have beef with me. If it was just a friendly boxing match, like Stan Genedick or something like that, that I might do. If we could, obviously we pull punches and stuff. I mean, I might punch him pretty good a few times, just because it's Stan. But yeah, so maybe it would have to be just right. It could be fun. El Chino, saludos from Argentina. Thank you very much. Yes, Jay, the black hoodies will be for sale. That'll be part of the offering when the new website comes up. All the ones you've seen me wear, the easy money ones, the black ones. I have other ones as well, new hats, all that stuff. It's all made. I have it all sitting in storage. It's ready to go. Just got to work out a few more details. Did you used to have a wheel skid steer? How do you like the track over tires? So Ratty Ralph asked that question, and I actually own two skid steers currently that have tires on them. And then I have two compact track loaders. So for construction work, the type of work that I do where you're in dirt and you're also on the street at times, spinning around on concrete, hands down, a compact track loader is so much more efficient, especially if you're ever working in soft or muddy conditions. You can still work. The skid loaders or machines with tires, in other words, they get stuck, they leave ruts, they displace the soil. It's just very difficult to work at times. You can work. I used to work in the past only having a skid loader. It's not impossible, but a track loader will walk all over a skid steer in the type of construction work that I do. Highly recommend it. However, let me finish. The skid loaders with tires, they are much better than track loaders in the snow. So I use those for snow plowing and the track machines for construction work. What does Bugs keep himself doing in the winter? Busy doing in the winter. So he's been he bought, what did he buy? El Camino. I forgot the type of car he bought. He bought an old classic car and he's been working on it to restore it all winter long. Nick Johnson is a welder from Iowa. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Tracy, thank you so much. Sell me your Mustang. It is for sale. First person with $16,000 can take the Mustang off my hands. Not that I want to, but it's first things first. It's priority right now is to come up with what I can. Kevin, thank you very much. Specs of your favorite bass rod. So I use all 7 foot long medium heavy rods. And then for those are all my bait casters. And then the spinning rods, they're still 7 foot, but they're medium action. So I don't know if that's all the specs that you wanted, but I think that's probably what you were looking for. David Paulo, thank you very much. I appreciate that. How did you start your business? So long, a long time ago. I mentioned this several times again, but if if some things get redundant, I understand. But new people pop on, so please, if you've heard this, understand that there's always new people coming on and off. So I started the business when I was young, like 20 or 21 or something like that. I don't remember, but I had a lot of side work and realized I didn't have enough time for my regular job. Started an LLC, which was very inexpensive. And then the year after that, my brother joined me. We went into business together, and that's how we got started. $50, Jared says, hand this out, the $50 to the best worker at the end of the first week. So the end of the first week is already over. So I'm gonna have to do that. If somebody's getting $50, that's tough though. If I give it to like Eric, Bugs is gonna be looking sideways. If I give it to Ramon, they're all gonna be looking sideways. If I give it to Bugs, Eric's just gonna say, "Oh, he's your favorite." I don't know. That's a tough one. I'll give it away though. I'll give it away. Pat, thank you very much. What are you most excited about with regards to developing the lot? I know this is kind of weird because most people will just say, I just want to get it all done. I want to move in and have a shop and, I want to make rental income and this and that. I'm excited about the process. I like to learn stuff. I like to learn new things. I've never built anything. Like I've never built a house. I've never even built a shed. But commercial property is on a completely different level. Like I skipped some levels. I went right to the commercial building. So I'm excited about the process. I'm learning, about the engineering process and the architect and the drawings, the requirements, the city, the setbacks, and what we can do. They need a retention pond, water drain off. I'm excited to get on the land, get some elevations, get a plan, start digging the retention pond, grading the land. Like I just want to work the land. I'm excited about the whole process. I think like some other things in life, I'm kind of going to be sad when it's all built and done and paved and I'm just sitting in the shop. I think I'm kind of going to be sad, but that's years down the road. And there's a potential, I'm talking years down the road that once that's done, who knows what will happen. Maybe I start the process over. Who knows? You just never know. There's opportunities out there. What's the best marketing beside word of mouth? Obviously, you're going to want a website, and then you want to have a way to get people to your website, let people know that's there. Social media is a great source of marketing, specifically Facebook, because you could do targeted ads. I would do targeted ads on Facebook if you're starting out. What question should a homeowner be asking of a concrete contractor? So, job specifics you're going to want to ask about, obviously. As far as a contractor's reputation, you can find out the reputation very easily online. It takes 5 minutes to find out if a contractor has all kinds of negative reviews, if you left people hanging. So figure that out first. If they're a solid contractor, have them over, get a few, get a few estimates, and pick the one you're comfortable with. It's pretty easy. Thermal couple, thank you very much. He sent $25. I really appreciate that. Kirk, that's awesome. Thank you very much. Start a movie studio? No, definitely not. Do you still have the winter mechanic guy? So Nathan, I just talked to him the other day. He's still around. So runs his own business. So when I do need work, he is going to be available. He's going to be working on a couple, he's going to be working on the Mustang and the Crown Vic very soon. So he's just a really, really great guy to know. And I just love his attitude. I love his hustle. It's a young guy that's determined and he's going to be successful, guaranteed. Aaron, give me $20. Your videos help me to be more motivated. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad for that. Thank you. The New Holland, Gabe, I will use that when my other machine goes down. Can you please bleep out, oh my, I'll say it for the purpose of this. It says, can you please bleep out, oh my God, in your videos? It is considered, I understand, and I try to bleep that out every single time. If I missed one and you heard it, I apologize because that actually, I don't like that myself. I agree with you, actually, and I try to catch that every time. Eric has that habit. Um, but yeah, you're right about that. If I missed one, I apologize. I do try to stop that because I don't like kids and stuff hearing that either. When is Daniel going to start finishing? He got his first lesson last year on a job. What's the time delay from recording to uploading? So that varies, several days usually. And then as we go towards fall, I try to let the videos get, I try to do a big backlog. So the videos will extend into the beginning of the winter so you guys have something to watch. Do you have any quick stories about difficult customers? Uh, yes, I do. But um, the most difficult, yeah, I'm going to skip that right now. See, the difficult thing is, when you're on YouTube, like you're publicly on the internet, everybody can hear what you're saying. You have to be really careful with what you say because if people don't watch it, people that they know watch it, they'll get back to them. So I have to be careful who I talk about and what I say. Like I mentioned, for instance, I'm not even going to talk about that. Is the winter shop going to be all year? Yes, Austin. I rent the shop all year. All my stuff is still in there. To move or put it in storage would be a crazy amount of work. Uh, MC scenario says I'm a good bloke. So bloke is a word that they use in Australia, and I got a funny story about this. So when I first started the channel, for whatever reason, Australians are big into concrete. Concrete. They call themselves concreters in Australia, and they started to comment on my videos really early on. And a guy called me a bloke, and I didn't know what a bloke was. I thought it was derogatory. So I was typing, I said something. I didn't know any better. I first started the channel, so I would kind of like, I would lash out or kind of answer back. And I said something snotty back because I thought bloke was an insult. And it's not. Bloke is like a dude or a guy, a good guy or whatever. It's not an insult. They call each other blokes like we call each other dudes. So sorry about that, whoever that was a couple years ago. Ryan, what is something about yourself that you struggle with or are working on? So I'm not going to go too personal with that one, but I'm working on my weight and I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. Obviously, it'll be part of the channel because, it's a vlog and it's part of my life. But like last year on my second channel, I tried to make a big deal of it. I was like, man, if I put on a second channel, I'm going to have all this pressure on me and there's no way that I'm going to fail because I would be failing all those people if I told them I'm starting this big diet. So I made a big deal out of it. And guess what happened? I failed. So I'm not doing that again. Um, I'll mention it here and there occasionally. You'll see what I pick to eat and stuff like that. But that's what I'm working on myself. I let myself get way too big. There was one night I stepped on the scale after a big dinner and I couldn't even fit in my clothes anymore. I was like 316 pounds. And I was like, oh, 316 pounds. That's enormous. So that's when I started. So I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to stick with it. I feel better, but I'm not going to make a big deal of it this year because, if I start eating bad again or whatever, I don't want to be like a big public failure again. I don't know what's with my glasses. So if there's any optometrists, I think optometrists are the ones that work on your eyesight. So the problem I have with these glasses, I got a new prescription. Somebody answer this if you're educated. So I can't see far away naturally. So the glasses are just for, the far vision. Up close, I can see perfectly. So these glasses are supposed to help me with my, distance vision. However, and they do, I can see perfect with them on. But then when I put them on, it messes up my near vision where I have to take my glasses off now to read. So somebody tell me what's going on with my glasses. It's driving me crazy. I keep having to take them off. Anytime I look at my phone, I have to take my glasses off. And when I read, it's driving me nuts. So, and right now the screen is at a distance where it's right in between. I don't know what's going on. Enough of that. Reach out if you know what's going on. I don't want to have these problems. I never had these problems before. Somebody said, come over. Who said that? Cyber said, come over to Northwest Indiana up by Lake Michigan and give them some lessons. Oh, I don't. There's great contractors all over the country. No, I don't need bifocals, Roy. That's the thing is I can see perfect close. When I put the glasses on, I can't see perfect close anymore. That's the problem. But back to the last comment, he's made a comment saying that other contractors need lessons or whatever. There's great contractors all over the country. I've met tons of them at the trade shows. There are really there are few really bad contractors anymore, and I think that has to do with the internet, the ability for the consumer to communicate to the public through different different avenues on the internet, whether it's Better Business Bureau, Google reviews, and all that. That's really kind of weeded out a lot of the perennial bad contractors. So you're left with there's a lot of good guys that do solid work. I'm not saying all of them because there's still bad contractors, and there always will be people that take advantage. But there's a good solid group of contractors. I love the concrete industry. They're great guys. Just going to all the shows the last couple of years, just meeting like tons of awesome people, motivated guys that work super hard, hustle, waking up early every day, lacing up their boots, coming home late, physically exhausted, but doing it because they're motivated, they love their family, they're providing for their families and their kids. See, it's awesome, honestly. I have a lot of respect for people that do laborious jobs. I have respect for other occupations as well, but it just happens to be what I do, what I've always done, and I love those guys. Somebody says, "Do you give a church offering, JT?" Absolutely. So, if you all don't know what tithing is, I do tithe. So tithe is 10%, and again, it's something that we made a decision to do many years ago, and I can tell you that I have since we started doing that, my family, which was many years ago, 20 something years ago, I have not missed any of it. There's an old saying that you can't outgive God, and I believe it. So we tithe and we do even more than that. And I just think it's the right thing to do. See, Iowa Matt says he has a pair of progressives. These are not progressives though. These are not progressives. These are just standard glasses. What was one fear you had and how you overcame it when you started a business, especially with a family? The risk is scary. So, Jacob, I didn't have a family at the time. It was just to be honest and transparent, it was a lot easier for me. I didn't have a wife. I didn't have any children. I didn't own a home. I didn't have much responsibility. So it's definitely advantageous to start a business when you're young. It's still scary when you're young, but it's not nearly as scary as when you have a wife and kids to support. So that's why, again, I'm a big believer in starting off small, doing jobs on the side until you're ready. And you'll know when you're ready. You're starting to make good money on your side jobs. You're like, I can do this now, and then you can do it. If you're, I know you are a finisher, Iowa Matt. I recognize your name from comments from a long time ago. I know you're a concrete finisher, and you already have the skills. So if you try to start a business, I always think worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, it fails. The economy is not great. You can't get enough work, whatever, it fails. You still have that skill. Guys are always going to be looking for great concrete finishers. So you can go right back to working. You can sell your equipment. It's not really quite as risky or scary as you're making it out to be in your mind. Worst case scenario. Huffer says worst case Ontario. Pretty sure I definitely did not say Ontario. So somebody asked, Chris and Peyton White asked, did an inspector ever make you take out concrete you and the guys had put in? No, never ever. um, I so just to be clear and transparent once again, there has been some jobs where I skipped an inspection just for driveway approaches. The timing didn't work out. There might have been rain coming the next day. I was under a lot of pressure, and I was willing to face the consequences of pouring an approach without an inspection. I have done that. Okay, I'm admitting that. But I've never been caught, and really, it's only been a couple through many, many years. And when you do get an inspection, when you get a permanent inspection, the inspector will come pre-pour, and he will approve the forms. So you already know the elevations and everything is right. So you already know you're good to go. So after that, unless you butch the finish or something, which um, you know really haven't done that on an approach. Thank you, Jesse Diaz. It's going good, man. It's going good. How do you feel about Dr. Stanley teaching? Jay Cortez, I don't know if you heard this, but Charles Stanley actually passed away this past week. A lot of you will know him. Those of you that don't, he was a pretty famous preacher out of Georgia. We drove by his church when we were at Atlanta years ago, but I think personally, I think that the vast majority of his teaching was very good. Charles Stanley, that is. The one that just passed away. He does have a son in the ministry as well. I don't know really anything about him, but he actually helped me when I was, just starting to learn what the Bible was all about. Have you ever found the flux capacitor? Good question, George. I actually did find it. It's here. Hang on a second. Hang on. I gotta get it. Just give me a second. I will find the flux capacitor and I will show you. Found it. I did find it. I'm keeping it here in my office for safekeeping. It is reflecting badly, but it is here and it is ready. So we'll put that in sooner or later. I'm not ready for all that yet. So that answers your question, George. There it is. Jacob. Jacob, I might have been confusing with somebody else. Somebody else I saw their comment. It's really everything I said, you can apply it to that line of business as well. Have you ever tried Dr. Pepper cream soda? I really haven't. So I've been drinking very, very little soda, and it's all been diet soda, but that's been more or less a treat. I used to drink it every single morning, a diet Dr. Pepper, but I've probably had like two of them all week this week and maybe one of them the week before. So I've really even cut back on that, mostly water now. So he says Dr. Pepper cream soda is the bomb. Yeah, thanks, Jay. Just keep bringing that up, that sugary goodness that I would just love. Just keep throwing that out there. John, coffee and water. Yep, that's pretty much what I've been doing. Are you nervous about the new season at all, workload wise? Shane, it seems like things are going well as far as sales. I'm booked out past the 4th of July. So that's a good backlog right now. I do have my vacation week, the end of July. And if my guys in the company does good, I'm planning on giving them the entire week off that I'm on vacation, just like I did last year. That's an if, that's not a given. If we do well. So that week is already gone. The week of the 4th of July is gone. 1 week in August is already booked. So, a couple more weeks in August of booking, and I'm booked to the second week of August. So I'm not really nervous about the work. I get a lot of leads still coming in. So I think we're good with the work. Can we get a photo of you when you were young? I will do that. I promise. I was very skinny back then. Did you clean up the mess of packages in the front of the house? Yes, for the most part. I used the stamps that were on the lawn. You guys will see that video coming up. I used the magnetic stamps for the first time and I liked them. If you ever come to California, I've got a load of concrete pump jobs for you. Arm wrestling practice, man. I was never I was never great at arm wrestling. You guys, if you arm wrestle regular, you would just crush me. I'm a big dude, but I just never had that type of strength. I was always good at pressing, pretty strong at pressing, but never at arm wrestling. I think there's a lot of technique that goes in that I had never learned. So, how was today's work? So today, which is Saturday, I did estimates pretty much all day long, and then I've been editing all night. So I'm gonna have to get out of here in just a few minutes. I still have to upload to YouTube where you guys will not get that video tomorrow morning. Richard says, "What translation is your preference?" So we generally read the King James version. I'm not James only. We are King James preferred at our church, but that's still what we use and what we prefer. Have you considered bringing back employees prior to the channel to tell stories about the past? I bet there's a lot, oh, there's a lot of funny stories, but that would be hard to coordinate, and I don't really think they would be wanting to do that. Is it worth paying? Is it worth paying extra for a higher PSI concrete when getting a new driveway? It really depends. I mean, if they're pouring like a 4,000, like a 6 bag, that's already sufficient. If you're going to go to a 7 bag, you probably don't need it. It's probably overkill. So a 6 bag is sufficient. It's kind of industry standard. Um, so whether you want to pay for it or not, that's really up to you. There might be a little bit of benefit. I don't really have problems with cracking. The only problems that I've ever had with my concrete is issues with the surface. So either, sometimes you'll get chert pops because concrete is not chert free. They don't promise it. So you'll get those little chert pops. And then scaling. We used to have some scaling problems back in the day. Haven't had any of that recently, thankfully. Scaling, that is. I do have one, which it looks like it could potentially be chert pops, but we'll see. I need to learn how to implement your positive attitude and work ethic in my daily life. Watch every video. Um, yeah, so it's hard to give you advice not knowing what your life is like. But the very first piece of advice, if you're struggling with like motivation um, or mental health issues, we'll put it that way, is you got to get up in the morning and you have to be productive. Especially if you're a man, we were designed and created to work, to be productive. So the reason that you feel useless, you get depressed, and all that, if you're not productive, is because you're going against the way that you were made. That's why you feel that way. I know it's like some people are like, I don't believe that. You can believe anything you want, but I know it's true. Um, when a man is just lays around in bed, gets up late in the morning, he starts to feel useless. That grows into like hopelessness and depression. That's just the progression of things. That's how it always works. Not always, but that's how it works a lot of the times. That's why there's seasonal depression for especially seasonal concrete workers or seasonal outdoor workers, because you stop working and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I get to sleep in. This is so great. So you sleep in for a week and then you're like, wow, I'm kind of bored. And then another week goes by and you're like, wow, I kind of feel like terrible. And then another week goes by and you're like, I think I'm getting depressed. And then you have seasonal depression. And a lot of that stems from that, in my opinion. I think it's right. I'm not a psychiatrist, but that's just experience. I've witnessed that many times. Thank you, Aloha Random Vlogs. Appreciate that. Sounds like you got your own vlogs. Check out your channel. Anthony B. Favorite and least favorite part of owning your own business. So the best part of owning a business is you can take it any direction that you want to go. If you work for somebody, they're going to tell you what to do, and you just do what they tell you to do. There's no flexibility. Owning a business, you can, if you're going in this direction and you don't like the way things are looking, or you just have a hunch, you can kind of go like this. You can branch off, you can add crews, you can do whatever you want to do, and nobody's going to second guess you. The only thing that's could potentially happen is you could fail. That's the worst part of owning a business. The worst part of owning a business is all the pressure is on you because you are the guy that's making every decision by yourself. If you work for somebody, you don't have that pressure. If they fail, you go work for somebody else like nothing ever happened. So that's my favorite and least favorite things about owning a business. Hi, Joanna. Bringing some water. Why don't you come around here and say hello?
No.
Come on.
Why?
Just come and say hi. Everybody knows who you are. You did a video with me once. Say hi.
Hi.
There's hardly anybody watching, only like 4,000 right now. Thank you. She brought me a water. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have you ever thought about concrete grinding? No. Polishing? No. I just have never learned that. Ahmad from New Zealand asked that. I've never learned those skills. So I've never considered trying to get or branch off into that in the winter. Why Flores? Thank you very much. Yeah, Joanna's got really tall. She's almost as tall as my wife now. I apologize for drinking. It's alive. I would edit this out if it was on a video. I can't stand people drinking or slurping on video, but just bear with me. Sorry about that. That probably doesn't drive you all crazy, but I just have this thing where people sipping coffee and I'm watching a video. I'm like, oh. Robert Horton says, have you thought of getting into large scale concrete work? If not, why? Just wondering. So, Robert, we got into residential concrete from the very beginning. I worked a job learning residential concrete. And once you go into business and you're good at it, you become efficient, profitable. And it's just one of those things like, why do I want to do something else? I'm already good at this. I'm making money. I've been, relatively successful. I mean, I'm not super successful, obviously, like a giant company, but I'm happy with where I am. So I guess it's because I'm satisfied with where I am. I'm comfortable doing the jobs. I know everything about residential concrete for the most part. There's not things that stump me. So that's why I don't like branch out and try to like go off and start doing commercial construction. If you put me on some of the commercial jobs and give me a blueprint and it's all complicated and different this and different that, I'll figure it out, but it's going to take me a long time to figure it out. Somebody's probably going to have to come alongside me and help me. And I really just don't have time to learn a whole new aspect of concrete. It's like, why don't you pour bridges? Well, you don't just like jump into that. There's a lot of learning. If I would have started out working for a commercial company that did that type of work, I probably would have ended up doing that going into business. So that's just kind of how it goes. You do with what you do, what you know best, and that's what I do. How do you maintain being on both sides of being a boss, strict but can also have a good time? Uh, that is a super hard balance. I don't know that there's a perfect balance, Bailey. Um, it is difficult. I mean, the guys have to know what's unacceptable. I mean, you have to make that clear. And sometimes I know I'm too lenient. I give people a lot of chances, way too many chances. So naturally, what happens if you're too lenient or you're too buddy buddy? Eventually, you start to get taken advantage of. It's just kind of human nature. So there's a balance where I try to make it clear like what my expectations are, but I also try to be a friendly boss. It's dangerous being friends with your employees because then when the relationship ends, there's emotions involved, and that's what everybody is afraid of. The boss doesn't become friends or friendly with the employees. You just be this hard boss and do this and do that, and I just make money, and you guys just do what you're told. So that's what everybody's afraid of, becoming friends, and then at some point, most business or employee boss relationships they break down. The guys that I have now except for bugs, they're relatively new guys. Like every relationship eventually breaks down for the most part. So that's the difficulty is the breakup, if you want to call it, when you're friends. We just went through that with one of my employees. You guys witnessed the whole thing. And it was just much, much, much more difficult asking somebody to leave that's your friend. And but I'm not going to be the hard boss. It's just not who I am. It's not my personality. I like to have a good time with my guys. I'm going to continue to do that. And even if at times, I get taken advantage of because I've been taken advantage of many, many times, I'm not going to let it change me into that hard boss. I'm always going to be who I am. I'm not going to let the actions of other people change me. I am who I am and I'm staying that way. I'm 46 now. I'm obviously not going to change, but that's how I've maintained where I am until now. Somebody says, "Do you ever feel between concrete work and videos you need to spend more time with your family?" Yes, I do feel that way. Yes, I do. Although my kids, it's mainly. I don't want to get into that too much, but yes, the answer to your question is yes. So I'm making a really hard push for a little while here, and then my hopes are that soon things will start paying off, and I have been you know gaining little bits of time back. I'm hoping that continues. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. Very, very, very nice of you. How does it feel to be famous? Um, it's I'll answer that in a second, but I gotta say hi to Micah Bush. Very, very kind of you. He gave a large amount of money. He said, when doing a contract, do you require a deposit, the full amount upfront, or the full amount when the job is done? I require a deposit and get slack from customers for that. Thank you for being a godly man and walking in the Christian faith. So, as far as my deposits go, I only take a 10% deposit, which is a very small deposit as far as contracting goes. The reason that I do that is because what you mentioned, it can be an issue if you're asking for a 30 or a 50% deposit. That on a big job, that's a lot of money for a client to give a contractor before they ever started just to be on the schedule. I think that scares some people away. So I went to a 10% deposit, which is very reasonable. Nobody ever gives me a problem with that. But, you could potentially have a customer that doesn't pay at the end and then they don't pay 90%. The reason I do 10 is I really don't have any problems with customers paying. I haven't had hardly any problems through my entire career, so I'm comfortable with that. So that's where I'm at as far as the deposit goes. And then the rest, the 90% is due at completion. I don't invoice them. I don't email them and wait for a check. You guys know that watch a channel that day, as soon as we're done, I come to the customer and I say, jokingly, obviously, say, you got my money. And they always have a check for me because I make it very clear that at the very end of the job, I expect full payment. So that's how I do things. Uh, Bailey, my boss, yeah, my boss is 75 years old, do this, do that kind of guy. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Dry pour concrete, nah, not a chance, man. So I was, I watched a video. There's a video on the internet. There's a couple, I don't remember the name of their channel, but they dry poured concrete. So, like the Quickcrete bags of concrete, you can dry pour them to set posts. So you dump the dry mix right in the post hole and you put water on it and it'll harden to the point where it'll hold your post. It's fine. But then some people are getting an idea that you can dry pour concrete slabs, like a piece of a sidewalk or whatever. So you can just put the dry mix in your forms and then just sprinkle it with your hose and it'll harden and be just like a poured concrete piece. And it's not. It's don't ever do that. I think Mike Day just made a video of he tried it and it was a complete and total failure. Excuse me. Somebody says, I love watching videos. Have you ever started a lawn care? Actually, let me go back. Somebody asked, how does it feel to be famous? I am definitely not famous in that way. I mean, I'm known in the concrete industry, obviously, but I mentioned this before, but I'm 46 years old, so it's not like something where it gets to me where it's like starting to build up my ego and I'm a special person or I'm the most well-known concrete guy in the world, and I just don't think about that. You know what I mean? Like I am who I am. I'm really established in my beliefs and my ways, so it's cool to have people know you. It's fun. I'm not gonna like deny that it is a lot of fun, but it doesn't like give me a big ego boost. You guys, hopefully, you guys can see that it's not that big of a deal to me, but I do enjoy it. It's fun. Started a lawn care business. Lawn care is tough, man. I know there's a lot of landscapers. Let me go back. Thank you, Andy. That's very kind of you. I will buy lunch for the guys. That's more than one lunch, brother. He gave me $200 for the guys. We'll be going out for steak. So lawn care is a tough business, I'll be honest, because when you start out, generally you're going to start out with residential. And residential, you have to be very fast paced. You have to get, obviously, you have to get the work first. You have to get a whole bunch of lawns and you have to hustle and nail them one after the other to make a profit. So I would recommend as you get in to right off the bat, try to start signing some projects, things you're comfortable with, mulching, edging, hedge trimming, all that stuff. Try to get some projects mixed in with just the mowing. Just the mowing, you can make it. There's guys that make good money, but they just one after the other and just hammer, 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 hammer. The projects are much more profitable. I definitely recommend mixing in projects with your regular mowing. Thank you very much, Amic197010. Thank you. He just bought me a cup of coffee. That's very cool. Want to come push some snow over here in Vermont? I am. I'm hoping we're done with the snow, man. I I think it snowed today, so I went out to do my first estimate. It was snowing. It was like 40 degrees, but obviously in the upper atmosphere, it was still cold enough to produce snow, and it was snowing. I'm like, come on, come on. Ray, I didn't mention that. Ray is absolutely right. He says, as a landscaper, I would focus on getting commercial contracts. I had that thought. I didn't say it, but commercial contracts are gonna. Uh, that's what I did. Commercial contracts are going to pay better than residential. Another benefit of that is that you don't have to deal with so many people. You have one commercial client. Normally, it's a very busy facility manager, and as long as you keep the property looking decent, you just send them an invoice, they send you a check, and away you go. You don't have, all these Karens out there. They're like, you missed this one blade of grass on my sidewalk, or people complaining, and this has got to be perfect. So it really eliminates a lot of that headache. So the commercial work is really good. Connor, no, I would. No, I wouldn't. Not this year, Connor. We'll see about future years. Let's go golfing this summer. Iowa, Matt. Fun fact: I used to golf a lot. I golfed all through high school. I don't know if I've mentioned this on this channel, but I golfed all through high school. I was a 5 handicap. I was number one varsity as a freshman. So I was pretty good at golf at one point. I haven't golfed in years. I'm sure it would still be fun, but I would be absolutely terrible. I messaged Cletus from the Freedom Factory. I want him to invite you there. That would be super fun. I thought about that, Jerry, but man, what those guys do, honestly, I'll be very scared. I have no driving experience. Like if they would let me in one of their races or whatever. I have no race car race experience whatsoever. I've never gone down a drag strip. I've never gone drifting. I've never raced around a track. No go karts, nothing at all. So I just don't think I'm the guy to do that. You don't just jump in a car and go racing. So I would definitely need some lessons first. What are some expectations that you have for employees? Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Does it change having a YouTube channel? Gabe, it does change having a YouTube channel because YouTube does provide pretty good income for me. So there's less pressure on the job side of things. I don't have to do as many jobs as I used to do. I can sell more interesting jobs if I want to. There's a little bit more financial flexibility. So yes, YouTube definitely has changed my business to some extent. I mean, it's not a crazy swing. We still do the same stuff. I just do slightly less stuff than I used to because, like I said earlier in this live, I have other responsibilities now. I need extra hours in my day. Scott at Quick Trip. Yeah, he got sick. He's a little older. He's not able to work anymore. Guys, I gotta wrap it up. There's a question a little bit earlier about timing. You need to spend time with your family and your wife, and I agreed. But then here I am hanging out on the live for 1.5 hours. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, new video, first pour of the season coming tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock Central Time. All right, I'll see you all later. Adios.